Hey yo, what is up everybody? My name is Chandler Molyneux and welcome into the Act First show where we talk about sales and personal development. And in this episode, I'm gonna be talking about my exact diet to maintain high energy and productivity as a seven-figure entrepreneur. Now, this diet was not always perfect, okay? I never really viewed food as something that would energize me or affect my energy. I used to just kind of eat to eat. I really prioritized protein because I was more or less like a bodybuilder back in the day. I was a bodybuilder. I was trying to build muscle. And also there were times, excuse my language, but there were times where I would just eat like shit. I remember one time in my bodybuilding journey, I was trying to put on a lot of weight and I went from 210 pounds to 240 pounds and I just dirty bulked. I ate all the fast food and just ate like shit. And during this time, I was an entrepreneur, still am an entrepreneur to this day. And I would really rely on caffeine and Adderall for my energy. So much so that I actually formed an addiction. I, at one point, was up to 1,000 milligrams a day on caffeine. Prior to my sales calls, I would take shots of pre-workout and I would dry scoop it. I wouldn't even put it in water. I would dry scoop pre-workout like an absolute psychopath. It's not something I'm proud of. And that caffeine addiction turned into an Adderall addiction. It started off really innocently, just taking 5 milligrams of Adderall here and there, and then eventually it worked up to taking 60 milligrams of Adderall a day. And I didn't have a prescription, I was purchasing it illegally. I truly had an addiction to Adderall. I don't have an addiction to Adderall anymore. I also don't have a codependency on caffeine. I've really honed in and prioritized a daily routine that energizes me and allows me to be productive for work, but also for life as well. And a large part of that is toying with my diet and seeing what makes me more energized, what takes away energy, more so what foods actually take energy away from me. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this YouTube show / podcast. Now, if you are listening on the podcast, first of all, the audio is finally fixed. Really funny story. I just spent the past 2 hours trying to figure out the audio because I bought a mic called the DJI mini mic, and really it was this. I'm not really good with like cameras and stuff like that, and like editing and things like that. But it was the simplest issue, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say it, but the mic, there's a cord that plugs into the camera, and I had it plugged into the wrong hole. I had the plug in the wrong hole. Don't put any weird comments in the comment section down below there. But if you are watching, if you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to be showing a lot of visuals. This is one where you probably want to go over to the YouTube channel, The Act First Show on YouTube, and I can visually show you the food because right here to the left of me, I have all the food that I eat on a daily basis. I'm actually going to show you guys the food here. So the YouTube show would be preferred. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So once again, how do I optimize my energy through my diet? Now, the first thing we're going to start here with is breakfast, okay? Well, actually, let's backtrack. I wake up, this is important context. I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm in the gym by 5:30, okay? The benefit of working out early is you get it done. And for me, I get more of an endorphin rush doing my workout in the morning than I do in the evening. And that endorphin rush really helps me in the beginning of my day when I'm most optimized and most energized. Now, the downside of working out early is typically you have to work out fasted. You don't have food in your body. And if you know anything about, working out and fitness, you need food to be able to have a productive workout. So the very first thing I eat every single day is I have this local honey, raw and unfiltered. It's a local Texas brand. Looks just like this if you're watching on the camera here. And I'll do 2 to 3 tablespoons. All right, so it's 60 calories per tablespoon, and it is 17 carbs per tablespoon as well. So I'll do 2 to 3 tablespoons. Okay, so that'll take me to about 180 calories and roughly 52-ish carbs. All right, now I do this because it's fast acting, right? It's fast release, and it allows me to have a good workout in the morning, right? Would I like to have more food in me before I work out? Yes, but I prefer working out in the morning more in the evening, so this is the best thing, okay? So I do that in the morning. The other thing I'll do in the morning before my workout, and hopefully I brought this out here, I did, is I will have a scoop of electrolytes, okay? So this is a company called Jigsaw. I actually was gifted this for free, so like I'm not affiliated with this in any way. This was gifted to me for free. My preferred one is actually through BPN, GLM Sport, I believe they call it, or G1M Sport. You'd have to look it up. If you look up G1M Sport or GLM Sport, it'll pop up. It's the brand is called BPN. That's my preferred. But this is really good. So I'll do 1 serving of this. There's no calories in this, but you get 90 milligrams of sodium, 800 milligrams of potassium, 50 milligrams of magnesium, and 900 milligrams of chloride. And we do that once again because we're waking up, we're working out more or less fasted, and we're sweating. So morning, we're having potassium cocktail or electrolyte cocktail here, and then we're having 3 tablespoons of honey. Only reason I do that, once again, is for the workout. That really has no added benefit to my energy. I guess there's and indirectly it does because it allows me to have a better workout. And if I have a better workout, I feel better, have more energy. All right, let's get to breakfast. So here's what I've noticed with breakfast. The traditional American breakfast is full of carbohydrates. Okay, for me, and maybe this is me specific, carbohydrates crash the shit out of my energy. And I was so confused because I was eating, the standard typical American diet breakfast. And I was like, why am I so tired? Why the heck am I so tired? Maybe I need more caffeine. Maybe I need more Adderall. But then I tried this, and I don't know why I tried this, but I tried this, having a no carb breakfast or low carb breakfast. So my breakfast is actually very high in protein, very decently high in fat, and there's low to no carbs in it. It's also very high in fiber. That's more so I can take a poop in the morning. But this is more specifically what my breakfast is. And another thing is I consistently eat the same stuff every day. All right, and I do have some variance on the weekend. Sure, I enjoy things, but during my working week, I more or less eat the same thing every day. It's very consistent, it's very routine. It helps me, I don't have to think about it, and genuinely, I like the taste of it. Okay, so I have half a carton of egg whites. Okay, this is 250 calories, 50 grams of protein, so half a carton of egg whites. All right, then I have 1 singular pasture-raised egg. Okay, so you don't want to do cage-free, right? You want to do pasture raised. Pasture means that they get to roam free on the pasture, right? There's literally no cage, right? It's the most humane way to raise the chicken. So you get the best eggs here. The best way to tell if the egg is solid is if the yolk is orange, right? That means it's mineral rich, right? If it's a light yellow, right? It's probably not a very good egg. Okay, so I'll have 1 singular egg. I think this is about 70 calories. Let's see. I can't find the thing. But yeah, I believe it's about 70 calories on 1 singular egg. All right, that gives me some healthy fats. All right, then I'll take 2 scoops of bacon. All right, I do organic, uncured Applewood smoked bacon. All right, the calories on this are amazing. It's 35 calories per strip of bacon. That's 2 grams of fat, 2 grams of protein. I'll do 2 of these, okay? So what I do here is I actually cut them up with a scissor, put them in the pan so they're more bacon bites, all right? And I make a bowl. I make a breakfast bowl, which we'll get to in a second. All right, the last thing I put on this breakfast bowl is 2 slices of pepper jack cheese. Now, this is gonna be, it's called Dutch Farms Natural Pepper Jack Cheese. It's very low ingredients. The ingredients are just pasteurized milk, jalapeno peppers, salt, and enzyme, right? So it's a low ingredient, and that's exactly what I want here, right? 5 grams of fat, 0 carb, 4 grams of protein, 60 calories per slice. I'll do 2. So I put all of that in a bowl. The egg whites, the egg, the bacon, the cheese. I'll put a little bit of organic ketchup on it. I didn't bring the organic ketchup out, but it's by Primal Kitchen. It's very low calorie. Very healthy. All right, so that's my breakfast in the morning, okay? It's pretty low calorie, 600 to 700, very low carb. Oh, yes, one last thing. I'll have 1 carton of raspberries, and I'll eat the whole carton of raspberries. I have found some caterpillars in there. I don't know if you guys have ever had that experience. One, I fucking love raspberries, so to me, it's like, I will sift through this. I'll make sure there's no caterpillars. I love raspberries. That's like one of my favorite fruits. But yeah, I found a few creepy crawlers in here if you get the organic, which I get organic raspberries. The reason I do that is for fiber. I try to have fiber with every single meal. There's a lot of studies that show that fiber is linked to longevity, also better heart health and lower blood pressure as well. And obviously it makes you poop better too. So that's my breakfast in the morning. Very low to no carb. You get a little bit of carbs with the raspberries. It's only about 70 calories here, so it's very little carb, high protein, moderate fat. And once again, if I have carbs in the morning, energy crashes. Don't have carbs in the morning, my energy soars. It's great. All right, now the next thing with breakfast that I wanted to talk about is the timing of coffee. So I don't wake up and I have two rules in the morning. I don't wake up and drink coffee right away. My other rule is I don't wake up and look at social media right away. My rule is I can't look at social media until my workout is done. So when my workout's done, that's when I can check in on social media. Now the timing of my coffee, I don't have coffee until after I've had a full meal. So after my breakfast, then I make my coffee, then I go into the office. All right, so that's everything I wanted to discuss on breakfast. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me move this out of the way. Let's go ahead and talk about lunch. All right, so lunch, I still do not have carbs. Lunch is the most finicky meal for me, okay? Meaning naturally, my energy drops at 2 to 3 p.m. Naturally, it drops at 2 to 3 p.m. That could be dramatically expedited to the point where I need to like literally take a nap if I fuck up my lunch. All right, so if I notice if I have carbohydrates in my lunch, even if it's potatoes or sweet potatoes, my energy will crash and I literally like need to take a nap. All right, but if I stick with protein and fat, I've noticed my energy stays relatively pretty stable at 2 to 3 p.m. All right, so for lunch, I do Brussels sprouts. So I have this whole entire bag of Brussels sprouts. I put them in the oven, for like 15 minutes, and then I broil them for a couple minutes so they're crispy. So Brussels sprouts there. Brussels sprouts, the whole bag is 250 calories. All right, and then I'll have one chicken breast. So it's called Central Market. It's an Austin-based like natural food store. Just think of it like Whole Foods pretty much. But I'll do one chicken breast from their deli there. So that's my lunch, chicken breast and some sort of vegetable. Now, a couple other things here with my lunch that I want to talk about because we're really talking about optimizing energy here as an entrepreneur. I used to go for a second cup of coffee. I don't do that anymore. Instead, I bought online, if you know a cold plunge, right? There's a motor that runs a cold plunge. They sell those motors separately with the tubes and you can actually put it into your bathtub. So I have one of those freestanding bathtubs that is actually like, it's pretty high up. It looks like it could be a cold plunge. It's not like a normal bathtub that you have at the bottom of a shower. It's a freestanding bathtub. So for like 400 bucks, I bought one of those motors and I pretty much now have a cold plunge. Not pretty much, I do have a cold plunge inside of my apartment. So instead of, and it's cheap, right? Most cold plunges are like $5,000. So instead of drinking another cup of coffee, what I'll do is I'll get in the cold plunge for 5 minutes and that energizes me. Now, I don't know if you know, a little fun fact here, the cold plunge releases more dopamine than cocaine. And the release point, like the peak release of that dopamine is actually 2 hours or roughly 2 hours after the cold plunge. With cocaine, it's 7 minutes. Right? So just trying to show, I'm not advocating that you do cocaine, but I'm just trying to show that cold plunge gives you a lot of energy, releases dopamine, which allows you to focus, feel good, be energized, the whole 9 yards, right? So I'll do a cold plunge over coffee in the afternoon, and I'll specifically do that after my lunch. So lunch, protein, and a vegetable there. Pretty low calorie. Once again, I'm doing that to maintain and optimize my energy. Now, and I don't do any snacks. I'm really not a big snacker. Drink a shit ton of water. So I have this, I believe this is probably about 33 ounces. I have about probably 4 or 5 of these a day. And here's another thing as well. I highly recommend if you don't have like a container that has like a little sippy thing at the top of it, this has helped me drink more water. I used to be anti-sippy guy. I used to be like, man, that's like, I don't know, it's kind of like weird, kind of like for losers. I thought it was like feminine, is what I thought it was. But my wife bought this for me, and ever since using it, I've been very happy with it. One other thing I missed is I don't know why I do this. Actually, I do. The only reason I do this is because I know people in Italy do this and they live a very long life. But there's really, for me, I know there's probably some science to it, but I haven't looked into any science. I'm just doing it because culturally people in Italy do it. But I'll have a tablespoon of olive oil every single day and I'll just drink that raw. All right, we're moving on to dinner here. Dinner is when I have my carbohydrates. I'm not anti-carb. I just know how my body reacts to carbs. It drains the shit out of me. It makes me very, very tired. So I make up for my carbs at night, okay? Because obviously, I work out, I run, I need carbohydrates. So for me, my favorite form of like pure carbohydrate is going to be jasmine rice. So I'll have 1 packet of jasmine rice. That's gonna be 420 calories, and that's gonna be about 90 grams of carbs in 1 packet of rice. All right, then I'll have a meat, whether it's ground beef or ground turkey. Those are usually what I have. If it's ground turkey, I'll eat the whole pack in 1 sitting, which is gonna be about 650 calories and is going to be about almost 100 grams of protein. All right, and then if it's the ground beef, I'll have half the pack there just because it's more calorically dense. And then I'll have 1 more vegetable to round off the day, just getting some extra fiber in me. And that's peas is my go-to. And I'll do that in a bowl. The peas, the meat, the rice, I'll probably put on like a little bit of cheese, maybe a little bit of like ketchup or something, and I'll eat that in a bowl. But once again, I'll have the biggest thing there is I'll have the carbs in the evening because I'm done with work, right? I don't need to be super energized at that point. All right, y'all, that is it. That is how I optimize my energy using my diet. If you have any questions, please drop those below. Would also love to hear if you guys have any tips and tricks on how you optimize your energy as an entrepreneur as well. If not, leave a little thumbs up, leave a little comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.